Welcome, dear congregants and friends. This week's parasha is Parashat Terumah, building a sanctuary within. In the parasha, it is mentioned, Ve'asuli migdash ve'shachanti betocham, and you will build for me a sanctuary, and I will live within. I'd like to read for you, chant for you the Rishon, the first part of the parasha, as we approach Shabbat. But I'd like to read for you a short story from Rabbi Dr. Mark Angel, a great rabbi that I was privileged to have him sign my reverend document. Um, he recounts the following story. His wife and himself recently attended a school performance of one of their grandchildren. The class put on a production that included songs and narration, costumes, and dances. While they wanted to enjoy the program and cheer for all of the children, they had to deal with a number of parents who had ideas of their own. Quite a few parents and grandparents brought their mobile devices and were busily making videos of their children on stage. These photographers stood up, they moved around, and generally made it difficult for members of the audience, including themselves, to enjoy the program. Even when asked to sit down, a number of the parents kept right on with their photography. Why were they making these video recordings? To save the memory of the event, and yet they weren't experiencing the event itself. They were entirely devoted to aiming their cameras, probably on their own children. They were videoing something that was supposed to be a memory, but they didn't have a memory of the production itself, only a video that was supposed to preserve a memory. This seemed to be a parable of modern life. Instead of experiencing the reality of the moment, people experience life mediated through cameras, cell phones, tablets, and other technology. People are so busy trying to record and remember everything that they miss the actual thing they're supposed to be trying to remember. Life isn't lived directly, but only through artificial lenses that focus on bits and pieces of experience, not on the whole picture. The loss of real human experience and communication goes far beyond the technological revolution. Even when people are supposed to be conversing, they often seem to be talking at rather than speaking with. There are people who seem incapable of actually listening. They are so filled with themselves that they talk, and talk some more. They think they are validated only if they have an audience to impress or entertain. They seem to be afraid of life, afraid of silence, afraid of authentic human interaction. They live as play actors, not as real human beings. They are victims of and manifestations of a society that becomes increasingly dehumanized and depersonalized. This week's Torah portion begins with God instructing Moses to call on the Israelites, quote, that they bring me an offering for the sake of building a Mishkan, a sanctuary. God, of course, is master of the universe. He hardly is in need of any offerings of gold and silver. The instructions continue by saying that gifts should be received from each person whose heart inclines to donate. What God apparently is seeking is not material gifts, but gifts of the human spirit. He is looking for people with pure hearts, filled with generosity and honest religious devotion. The Mishkan, in fact, is a sanctuary that reflects human spiritual aspirations, not merely a physical place of worship. And so God states, Ve'asuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham, and they shall make me a sanctuary, and I will dwell in them. For example, in the hearts and souls of the people. What is true for the building of a Mishkan is also true for the building of authentic lives. What is demanded is a generous and compassionate heart, an inner being filled with love of God, an authentic being a human being. The goal is not the external trappings of life, but the interior thoughts and emotions that make one's life ring true. We live in a world where images often replace realities, where vicarious experience is valued more than the experience itself, where people are so busy capturing memories that they miss the fullness of genuine life. We are called upon to build a sanctuary to the Lord within ourselves, so that He may dwell within us. We are called upon to live life in its fullness directly and thoughtfully. And please, you standing up in front row with your device, please sit down and enjoy the program. Let the rest of us enjoy it too. There's a professional photographer in the back who can provide you with all the pictures you need after the program is over. This is the Rishon of Parashat Terumah. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ויקחו לי תרומה מאת כל איש אשר ידבנו ליבו, תיקחו את תרומתי, וזאת התרומה שתיקחו מאיתם זהב וכסף ונחושת ותכלת וארגמן ותולעת שני ושש ועזים ואורות אלים מאות דמים ואורות תחשים ועצי שיטים, שמן למאור בסמים ושמן לשמן המשחה, ולקטורת הסמים אבני שוהם ואבני מילואים לאפוד ולחושן, ועשו לי מקדש ושכנתי בתוכם ככל אשר אני מראה אותך את תבנית המשכן ואת תבנית כל כליו, וכן תעשו ועשו ארון עצי שיטים 2.5 אורכו 1.5 רוחבו 1.5 קומתו, וציפית אותו זהב טהור מבית ומחוץ תצפנו, ועשית עליו זר זהב סביב, ויצקת לו 4 טבעות זהב ונתת על 4 פעמותיו, ושתי טבעות על צלעו האחת, ושתי טבעות על צלעו השנית, ועשית ודה עצי שיטים וציפית אותם זהב, והבאת את הבדים בטבעות על צלעות הארון לשאת את הארון בהם. בטבעות הארון יהיו הבדים, לא יסורו ממנו, ונתת אל הארון את העדות אשר אתן אליך. Wishing you and your family a Shabbat Shalom.